What is the biggest obstacle hindering small businesses in your district, and how can you help? Arthur Kimball, let me first.
I have a little experience with this. I have friends who have front room photography. Maybe you know it. They're a very large wedding photography company. They were in the Avalon and they got kicked out of there because it's going to open up any day now. They moved down to where the Cream City Music was, or the Crown Music Store, maybe some of you know, on KK. They did a tremendous renovation. They made the floors look beautiful. It's a wedding idea. They're taking pictures. They're trying to make it into a studio. Next day, the city inspectors arrive. Oh my God, you've got lead under there. We don't know whether your electricity is. These men spent a lot of money, and they had no guidance. I believe that small business owners, when they go to locate in Bayview, should be able to come to the alderman and know exactly what steps they need to do to be able to get their business going. What they need to get from neighborhood services, what they need in terms of licensing. That's not happening right now. More important, I think what we need to look at is microfinancing. Why not look at, instead of putting all of our eggs in one basket and pouring money into the black hole known as the Avalon, which has not been open for 7 years, still getting lots of money, why not spread that money around to help develop smaller businesses? We can't have big dreams in terms of trying to open something that seems to be financially not able to work. We should try to work with smaller businesses by using microfinancing, meaning micro grants and micro loans, to be able to develop the small businesses that this district needs.
I'm going to start off with the Avalon Theater, since that has been mentioned a few times. First and foremost, everybody that I've talked to, with the exception of one here, wants that restored as a theater. The previous owner wanted to turn that theater into a live music venue. The people in the immediate neighborhood did not want that to be a live music venue. I supported the people in my district, and I would not support that. And finally, an individual came along who has the financial wherewithal to restore that as a theater. Before he purchased the theater, when you talk about helping businesses and so forth, he said, "Tony, I know that you want to support a live music venue here, and I know you want this restored as a theater. I will buy this, and I will restore this as a theater. It might take a few years. It's a multi-million-dollar project. If I do it, I want to do it right. I could build this in a year or two for $3 million, but I want this to be the crown jewel on KK. This will take years. But before I buy this, I want a commitment from you on two fronts. A, I want a commitment that the city is going to help me financially with this, and B, I want a commitment that I can operate this like the Rosebud in Wauwatosa, where people can have food and drinks served while they're watching their movies." I said, "You have it." He purchased the property. He's got the financial wherewithal. It will happen. What's the alternative? Just say, "No, Lee Barzak, don't buy it. Let's have a live rock music venue. Let's have an empty storefront there for good with no hole." The course of action that I followed as far as the Avalon Theater is concerned is the appropriate course of action, and everybody I've talked to has said that this is the right thing to do. And I'd like to address a few other points, but hopefully later in the meeting I'll get to that.
I'll take a shot at the Avalon too, just real quick. I never knew that there was supposed to be live music there, so apparently you missed me. As far as the project itself, I'm in full support too. I think it's a wonderful idea. Unfortunately, it's way behind schedule and nobody's pushing it. That's what we need to do. As far as getting businesses to get more visitors to come to it, the biggest thing we need to do is advertise. If anybody here can find me a list in this building showing all the businesses up and down KK, I'll give you $10. But I can tell you, I'm holding on to my $10. People come across the lake. We've had people that don't even know the Palomino and these other restaurants that are right up here, right up the hill, within walking distance. It's not necessarily about all the funding to help them out. I do agree that they do need better resources, but as an alderman, you have to educate them first. You can't just be there. You have to go to them. But the biggest thing is advertise. We need to let people know what is here.
Please explain your views on the possibility of a city-county merger of services. We start with Tony.
Well, I think in order to answer that question, it has to be studied. I think it would be premature for me to say right now what should or should not be merged between the city and the county. And I think the reasonable way to approach that particular issue is to analyze it and research it thoroughly, so that we're not just shooting from the hip here and trying to do something that sounds good on the surface. Since I've got a little extra time to go back here, it was mentioned that as far as business growth, that I'm not there to help the businesses on KK. Talk to the people like Pam Maynard at the Outpost Health Food Store. Talk to the Pete Nearings at Grappies. I could go talk to Mike Idle, who's going to be opening up Merriweather Super Eatery and Pub on KK and Lincoln, and how I work with them. I can go right on down the list, and I just don't sit there. I proactively outreach to these businesses. Before John and Ann Nearing purchased the Grappy grocery store, I approached them. I went out to their store at V. Richards out in Waukesha and talked to them about coming to Bayview. In the Schwartz bookstore press release, they even mentioned in the press release that I contacted them almost every other week for a full year before they came down here. So I am very proactive in terms of outreaching to businesses that I feel are needed here and that will be successful here. Thank you.
I've got a question. What was the question? He gets me off track, so he's Oh, the merging, yes. This is probably the one time I'll agree with Tony, is that it's too soon to tell. This is a huge project, and right now there are certain things just with our local services that you can imagine you've dealt with as far as garbage pickup or snow plowing. Can you imagine if it went to a bigger organization? It does need a lot of studying to see the differences between both, to pick the good aspects of both, to try and merge them that way. But yeah, it's a little too soon to give a definite answer one way or the other on this one.
I'm pro-consolidation, I'm pro-cooperation. You know, it's kind of amazing that this man was a county supervisor for 16 years and now the city for 4, and he can't tell us one service that we might be able to bring together. It shows you where the attention to detail isn't. I believe that, as they say at the doors of the infantry school, lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. If you don't lead in terms of saying, let's look at what we can do, let's explore grass cutting as an issue or park maintenance as an issue, let's just start exploring the issues. The gentleman's had 4 years to look at this issue, and he's done nothing. He wants to study it. You can study things, and you can study things, and you can spend money, but we have a structural deficit. He says we don't have a structural deficit. Go look at the Public Policy Forum. They say that's the #1 threat to the security of Milwaukee as an economic entity. He's in denial. I'm not in denial. I want to get in there. I want to look. I want to listen. I want to learn. I want to try to make change. I want to find where we can have cooperation. When I was at Marquette University, I got my political science degree, and then I went off to get a master's degree at the University of Massachusetts. And that was in the 70s. And the professors at the University of Massachusetts used to talk about the wonders of Milwaukee, the wonders of progressive politics, how such a beautiful system could be built with parks and to be so wonderful. That's been destroyed. It's been destroyed by politicians who don't pay attention to detail. It's been destroyed by a politician who voted for the county pension scandal.